Hey, it's physical media pickup time. Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. My name is Paul Mant. Yes, it's physical media pickup time. Haven't done one of these videos for a couple of months, I think. As I've explained previously, I'm not buying quite as much stuff as I used to. My bank manager's very happy with me. Very happy, very, very happy. But obviously I'm still picking up odds and sods here and there. A few bargains online, especially at the moment. It's Black Friday for the next month. So things are sort of passing my field of vision. I'm thinking, I'm having that at that price. So I got a few little bargains and odds and sods that I've picked up the last few weeks. So I thought I would display them for you for your entertainment this afternoon. Books, comics, Blu-Rays, DVDs, A4Ks, no 4K. The usual mix of odds and sods. Let's start off with books. First book I've picked up, filling a little gap in the collection, is one of the Doctor Who books that came out a couple of years ago, I think. Planet of the Ood. In fact, it might have been, I don't know when it came out, last year, year before last. This is one of the adaptations of modern Doctor Who, written by Keith Temple from David Tennant's third season, 2008. And yeah, these came out a while ago. I must admit, it sticks in my throat paying 10 quid for a rather slim paperback when you can get a hardback for about that in a supermarket. But I managed to track this one down for about 6 or 7 quid on Amazon a couple of days ago and thought, yes, let's get hold of it then. It's not, it's got a strange sort of line across the edge, but it's in good condition otherwise. It might well have been read. It was it was not directly from Amazon, it was from the also available sort of thing. But I thought, yeah, I thought I might as well pick it up. Because I do like some of these new adaptations. They are very good. It still seems odd to think that we're getting novelizations of 50-minute TV episodes that are the same length as the adaptations we used to get of 4-part serials. But they're nice to have, and some of them are very good, and I'm sure that'll be good. This next one, should I show you this one? Don't judge me. Celebrity autobiographies are a big Christmas festive thing, and I scowl at many of them because they're ghostwritten by people from Big Brother or Strictly Come Dancing or something. And there are people I'm not very interested in. You do get some very good ones that are of people who've actually done something with their lives and had careers and achieved things, and they're often worth picking up. I've over the years, I've picked up many of them from comedians I like, actors I like, and so on. Not so many I'm interested in this year. However, I'm sort of interested in this one. Well, I'm obviously interested in it. I wouldn't have bought it. And I picked this up, talking about Black Friday sales. This is in supermarkets for about 11, 12 quid. Picked this up for about £9.50, I think it was, on Amazon's Black Friday. It's Never, the autobiography of Rick Astley, the pop superstar from the 1980s, who's had a bit of a renaissance over the last few years. You may think, Paul, you're a man of taste. Why do you want to read about Rick Astley? I'm just interested in that period of music. I'm interested in that sort of phenomenon that came round of the Stock Aitken and Waterman hit factory of the late 80s into the 90s. And of course, Rick Astley walked away at the height of his fame because he didn't want that. He wanted something a bit different. And he seems like a nice lad, and he seems quite witty, and I think this should be quite a nice little read. So this will be put away as a stocking filler in a stocking I don't have, but I will read this over Christmas probably because it looks like it's a nice bit of light fun. Some of these celebrity autobiographies can be entertaining if you put them in the right frame of mind, and I think he's actually written this, which is a bit of a novelty in itself. Let's talk about comics. I've picked up some comic books. As I have again mentioned previously, it's a bit of a nostalgia fix. Sometimes I see them on Amazon or on Facebook Marketplace. Bargains for certain types of comics. I'm not interested in modern comics. Don't do a thing for me. 60s and 70s. 60s DC, 70s Marvel. I think that's my sort of era. And I picked up for, I think it was $7.50, 3 editions of World's Finest with Superman and Batman. This is a title I used to enjoy reading in the 60s. These rather silly tales of Superman and Batman working together in some sort of fairly ridiculous plot. But they're good, colourful fun. I haven't really looked at them properly since they arrived yesterday. This one is from 1979, 1980, The World's Finest. All new, 4 complete stories. Superman, Batman, Atom, Black Lightning. He was on TV, of course, and Shazam. And this is what they used to call one of their big bumper-sized comic books. And this is about the time when comics were growing up, I suppose. These days, I'm just not into the style of comics, but this has still got that sort of classic comic book art, which just reminds me of when I used to read these things. We also have a very similar edition, actually, a 100-page edition, which comes from 1977, a little bit earlier. 80 pages! I think they used to call them 80-page giants originally back in the 60s. All new stories. Superman and Batman are helpless to stop him from killing everyone on Earth. Who is this man? It's not Vladimir Putin. No, it's 5 action-packed adventures. And again, it's the style of comics that I just remember reading when I was a younger lad. This is an earlier World's Finest comic. This is from 1970, in fact, quite a bit earlier. And this has got the 1960s type World's Finest logo that I remember, with the images of Superman and Batman. The Prison of No Escape. And again, it's classic comic strip. So I picked those up. I picked these up. I won't spend too long on these because I know it's the physical media that you really want to see. I picked up a few more, and I haven't really looked at them properly. A few Marvels I picked up. I can't remember how much they were now. They weren't very much, on eBay. And I'll show them very quickly. There are 3 issues of Kazar, Lord of the Hidden Jungle. This is basically Marvel's version of Tarzan, this sort of lad living in a mysterious hidden jungle. And this particular cover, I do remember that one quite well, of Kazar riding the back of some sort of prehistoric beast, along with a saber-toothed tiger. I think, if I remember, Sabu or Zabu was Kazar's tame saber-toothed tiger. And it was 3 issues of this. British editions, as you'll see, they have got the British. There was that period in the 70s when Marvel would send the latest comics, or a batch of the latest comics, over to UK, and they would be stamped with sort of 7p rather than the 25 cents they would have had in America. So 3 issues of Kazar. We have got 2 issues of The Inhumans. This was a failed TV series a few years ago. This is issues 2 and 3 of The Inhumans, with art by George Perez and Doug Mensch, who was a very popular comic book writer at the time. Issues 2 and 3. You'll notice issue 2 is the UK distributed edition. Number 3 has got the 25 cents American tag on it. I don't know if I'll ever read any of these, by the way. They're just sort of... It's a comfort thing, I think, as I'm getting older. I like to have things, colourful things that remind me of my youth. It's either a bit sad or quite sweet, I'm not sure. We have Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, number 5. Looking very much like... Actually, he does look a bit like Benedict Cumberbatch, come to think of it. Doctor Strange is a weird one. He was sort of very psychedelic, his adventures, and I was never a massive fan. This again, British edition, number 8, 8p. This is from 1974. And I as I say, whether I read these things or not, who knows? I have an edition of The Invincible Iron Man. Again, it's the British distributed edition with 8p on the top there. This is number 72 from 74. I do like a bit of Iron Man. He is, of course, the flag bearer, the standard bearer for the MCU, and it's, the MCU's not really been the same since we lost him back in Endgame. And I also picked up the British edition of Marvel 2-in-1. This is one of the series that they did. They used to do Spider-Man Marvel Team Up, and this is 2-in-1 with the Thing from the Fantastic Four teamed up with Iron Man to face the Power Stone of Prester John. This looks quite fun. This comes from 1975. Again, it's got the UK labelling on it. And the last couple of comic books, because I know many of you may not be interested, issues 26 and 27 of The Defenders. This was a strip I used to like, written by Steve Gerber. A sort of an alternative version of the Avengers. I've actually read that one. Features also the Guardians of the Galaxy, but not as we know them from the films. And this is not exactly a multiverse thing, but it's a sort of alien planet type thing. Not sort of the best of what I remember from the Defenders. And again, these are the British editions that are from 1975. This is the sort of prime time when I was really buying particularly Marvel comics. And I don't hunt these things down particularly. I'm not tracking them down. I'm not collecting them. But I see little batches of them on eBay sometimes when I'm scrolling of an evening. And I think, yeah, I'll pick up that. That looks like fun. I sort of vaguely remember those particular comics. So those are my comic purchases for the last few weeks. Now into the stuff that you're really interested in, the DVDs and Blu-rays. Hooray! There's a few. First of all, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I've done 3 separate videos about this. This is Blake 7, of course, season 1 on Blu-ray. I've watched all this. It's very good. And I've done 3 videos on it. So check back along the channel, have a look at me unboxing it, reviewing it, and then doing my rankings of the best 6 episodes. I haven't shown you this yet. I have done an unboxing video, but I haven't uploaded it yet because I'm going to combine it with my review when I've finished watching it. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. Just released last week. This is the BBC's classic children's series from 1984. Box of Delight, based on the book by John Masefield. There will be a review up, I'm hoping by the end of the week. I've got 4 more episodes to watch, and then I'll do my review and upload that along with the unboxing. But that's available now on Blu-ray, and it looks like it's another very good restoration from the BBC. With what I'm looking forward to watching is a documentary, The Making of, which is nearly 2 hours long. And I think it's in the style of the documentaries that we had on the Blake 7 set, on Doctor Who sets. Produced and directed by Chris Chapman, who does a brilliant job in revisiting these classic shows. So I'm looking forward to finishing that off. The review should be up by the end of the week. The rest of the items, I will explain their provenance to you. This one I picked up Sunday now. I picked this up on Friday, my local CEX. Had a voucher floating around in my wallet for about £6. I looked through these shelves. It wasn't much I wanted. Then I stumbled across a pretty good condition copy of Oppenheimer on Blu-ray. There's a slight little nick on there, but it's in its slip. It's in one of the thinner cases that they come in these days. Been sort of thinking about getting this on 4K, but it isn't a film you're going to watch again and again, and I think it's going to look fine on Blu-ray. It's the special edition, which has bonus disc of special features, and of course I've looked at the discs and they are pretty damn good condition. This was £8. I had a voucher for £5.80. And I had to put about £2 something towards it. So, bit of a bargain to get Oppenheimer for that price. Here's a film I picked up. This was also a CEX pickup from about 3 weeks ago. It's been that long since I picked these up. And I've just been waiting to get some more stuff so I can do a fuller video. And I saw this at the cinema. There is a review further back on the channel. And I remember seeing this in the cinema thinking, well, I don't need to watch that again because it's a particular film. But actually, I do quite fancy watching it again. It is, I don't know if it's the movie event of the year, as it says here, but it's a damn good film. It's Alex Garland's Civil War. No slip cover. This is a CEX pickup. £6, I'm thinking, I can remember. Yeah, I think it's an important film. And even though it's not one that you're going to revisit on a regular basis, just give the disc a little smooth there. It's one I think you need to have because it's sort of I think it's an important film, really. Civil War. I also picked up, I did enjoy this film. I saw this in the cinema. There's a review on the channel further back somewhere, even though it's not the sort of genre stuff that I usually review. This is Sam Taylor Johnson's Back to Black, the story of Amy Winehouse. It's a very sanitized version of Amy Winehouse. It tells her story of her rise and fall, but the fall side of it isn't quite as dark as I think we know it really was in real life. But it's a good film, great performance from Marissa Abila as Amy Winehouse. Would have thought it was a star-making performance, but because the film hasn't done incredibly well, or didn't do incredibly well, it hasn't sort of made the name I thought it might yet. But it's a really good film, and it is one I can imagine sort of putting on one rainy Sunday afternoon thinking, yeah, I'll have a look at that again. A couple more films. I picked up this for about £4. I don't particularly like the film. I don't particularly like the director. But of his films, his 3 or 4 films so far, this is the one I'm most likely to want to watch again. It's Jordan Peele's Us. Yeah, I'm ambivalent about his films. I don't think he's quite as clever as he thinks he is. I think he thinks he's making clever films, but they're actually, Us, United States. It's very on the nose. But it's got a good cast, and I think this is one that I've been sort of thinking about rewatching. I don't really want to watch Nope again. I don't want to watch Get Out again. But this, although I think it goes off the rails towards the end, I think this is one I will rewatch at some point. And I also picked this up. talking of Amazon, this was an Amazon, I don't think it was a Black Friday thing, but it was just a sudden promotion they were doing, probably because of the new film. This is Gladiator on 4K. This was 10 quid from Amazon, which I think is a pretty good deal for a 4K disc. No slipcover, but I really don't worry about that sort of stuff too much. And it's got 3 discs in it. It's got the 4K, it's got the film on Blu-ray, and it's got all the special features on the second disc. And yeah, it's brand new. It just hasn't come in its slipcover, which isn't something that, as I said, I don't agonise about particularly. Having seen Gladiator 2 recently, really quite enjoyed it. I've only seen this a couple of times, and I've not seen it for donkey's years. So I'm going to give it a rewatch in 4K. Should be rather enjoyable. Last of the films, because there are 2 other things. I picked this up against CEX week before last, I think, for, I'm thinking 4 or 5 quid. And this is Renfield. This came out last year. I think there's a review on the channel way back. And I did enjoy this. This is sort of Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, his henchman. This was a sort of a crazy film. It didn't do incredibly well, but I think it was quite entertaining. Nicolas Cage gives another one of his stratospheric performances. And I do like Nicholas Hoult. And I think it's going to be fun to watch this again. I haven't seen this for a while. This is another probably wintry Sunday afternoon film. Renfield. Final 2 discs, in fact DVDs. And again, don't judge me. We all have different tastes. One of my favourite stand-up comedians, because he's so stupid, is Tim Vine, brother of Jeremy Vine. Tim Vine does these puns and silly jokes and quips and things. There's never any near-the-knuckle humour. There's never any blue gags. There's never anything remotely saucy. Tim Vine has a new DVD out. Remember the days when all the comedians brought out their Christmas DVDs, and these were very much stocking fillers, and they all sold very well. They were massive sellers. You don't see them so much now because of streaming and so on. But I actually saw this live performance earlier in the year, and I don't know very much about it. He's one of those people, he churns up so many jokes. 50% of them are like, oh God, that's corny. Some of them are quite clever wordplay, puns and things. And I saw the show and totally forgot it when I came out. I could remember a couple of the jokes, but there's so many so quickly, it goes out of your head. I watched this last week. It is down. The sound quality actually isn't great. I don't know if there was an issue with the miking, but the sound, which is slightly disappointing. But yeah, it's just, again, this is the sort of thing you would watch over Christmas. And it's a throwback to those days when comedians brought out those comedy DVDs. The final one is something which you can't get in the shops, and I bought this direct from the fan club for this particular classic TV series. Back in the 80s, one of the shows I really liked, and when it came back in the 2000s, was Auf Wiedersehen Pet, the story of a group of down on their luck British tradesmen, brickies, electricians, builders. And in the first couple of series, they had to go abroad. They had to go to Germany back in the Thatcher years in the 80s because industry had crashed in the UK. Went over to Spain in the second series, and then when it came back in the 2000s, they carried on their misadventures by going over to America, and 2 or 3 more series. Anyway, it's Auf Wiedersehen Pet. This is a special disc to celebrate the show's 40th anniversary, because it is the show's 40th anniversary. And this is a video recording of an event on the 11th of May 2024 in Tyneside, which reunited the remaining cast of the series. And there aren't, well, actually, there's quite a few of the cast still left, certainly supporting cast are still around, but it features Jimmy Nail, Tim Healy, Kevin Whately and Christopher Fairbank, the 4 main members of the original Magnificent Seven, as they were called, plus some of the supporting actors. Bill Patterson is there, Lisette Anthony is there, Sue Elliott, I think, played Ozzy's odd wife. Lots of supporting people from behind the scenes as well, directors, writers and so on, so it's interesting. It's a 2-disc set. The first disc is that live show, and the second disc is a musical show, which was the second half of the evening. Jimmy Nail performing some country songs and various tracks and things associated with the series. Again, this might mean nothing to you if you've never seen the series. It's one of those shows that I really enjoyed back in the 80s and 90s, because I've always liked ensemble TV shows. I've always liked TV shows with large casts of characters that you get to know in different situations. And this is a show that I can watch any time, and again, it's very much a nostalgic thing as I get older. I like going back to the things I watched when I was younger, because it takes you back there to how you felt at the time, before the aches and pains and creaks. I've watched the live stage show, as it is. I've yet to watch the concert. So there we are. That's the bits and pieces I bought. An eclectic mix, I think you'll agree, of very odd things. You won't find too many people on YouTube who are talking about Marvel Comics, Tim Vine, Auf Wiedersehen, Pet, and Oppenheimer. But that's what I'm here for. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, why not like and subscribe? There are lots of other physical media updates tracking back along the channel. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to put picture in links. I've looked at it and it looks a bit difficult, so I haven't done it yet. But yeah, there's loads of videos back, not just physical media updates, reviews, unboxings, classic films, new films, retro films. It's all out there. It's an incredible world of stuff. You just need to be part of it. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you very soon. Until I do, I'll just keep taking the stuff.